for instance, should recognize that he's a symbol of Nigerian federal figure and should take it. I expected them to go back to the drawing board to know that people are not happy. People are not, they are not happy. They are not, accepting whatever is being given to them anymore. This is a situation whereby the master will eat bone and throw it down for the so-called miscreants as they describe us to. So what we're saying here is that Ekweremadu has been there. There are so many of them who have been there. When you thought they would say they call police for it, they call the army for it, they call your manner of names and all that. They connive with the Fulani Islamic fundamentalists.
With your success in successfully harassing Ekweremadu, the group seems to be ginger up to do this more to more politicians. And is it just going to be limited to the Igbo or the Eastern politicians, or you intend to spread it out to other politicians?
At the moment, this is a family business, for avoidance of doubt. I need everybody to understand what we are doing here. Our people are dying. In Enugu, in Ebonyi, Fulani headsmen are invading communities, killing, maiming. 2 reverend fathers have been murdered in the last 3-4 months. There was a woman, one of our mothers, that was raped and killed. Everybody is saying it.
Yes.
And incidentally, this is happening in Ekweremadu's own state. What has he done? I heard him talking about the fact that he has done this, he has done that, he has traveled to the northeast, he has gone to south, he has gone to middle belt and donated money. Go and ask him, what has he done against what is happening in his backyard? He hasn't done anything. So what we are saying here is not about playing politics with our lives. The question we're asking is, for how long will it continue? We are tired of newspaper publications. We are tired of brown envelope journalism. What they are doing, these politicians, is when they could, if something happens, they will instruct their assistants or their aides to write something, and they will send it to journalists. They will publish it, just in case. If you begin to accuse them of something, they will show you, that is what Ekweremadu was doing. He said he led federal government, he led the delegation to Nigerian federal government on the issue of Operation Python Dance and IPOB and all that, and that he was doing it quietly. What we are saying is, if you are here to defend your people, come out in the open and defend your people, not in secrecy. To the extent that in fact, it's everywhere. Ayodele Fayose, the former governor of Ekiti State.
Yes.
Femi Fani Kayode, these are Yoruba men. But they left, apart from defending their own people, they were also doing what our elders, our politicians should be doing for ourselves. We sent them, or we selected them to go and represent our people. Yes. They are not doing that. We want them to come out in the open and stand at the forefront and defend the interests of our people. That's what we are doing, that's what we are saying here. Apart from that, many people have been murdered, many Biafran youths have been maimed, and these politicians are still telling us one Nigeria, one Nigeria. Last year they convened what they call handshake across the Niger and said that without restructuring, that there will be no election. Where are we today? And all that. And for avoidance of doubt, IPOB is not seeking for one Nigeria restructuring. We are going for outright restoration of the land of Biafra, because people have been murdered. So many have been killed, millions have been killed, and as we speak, our people are still in prison. There are people who have been extrajudicially murdered and incarcerated. It's are the people supporting it.
Yes, it's a no-brainer that the average Igbo man is Republican in nature. But I really just want to know, is everyone in on this? Both the elders, the youths, the entirety of the Igbo people, are they in and fully behind Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for, the autonomy of the Igbo land?
It's not autonomy of Igbo land for avoidance of doubt. What Indigenous people of Biafra stand for is, as the name stands, is...
So I should use the word subsection? Or what is that?
If you like.
Okay.
We are aiming for restoration of Biafra, agitating for restoration of Biafra, and Biafra we are looking for is the old eastern region. Some part of this area they called South-South today, and some part of Middle Belt, for the simple reason that there was fraudulent delineation of boundaries in order to lessen Biafra agitation. And what we are saying today, in order to solve that problem, is for referendum to be conducted in all those areas so that people will decide where they want to be. And so, I have no business with politicians, Nigerian politicians, who are, clamoring for one Nigeria. Of course, they know that it's an elusive experiment.
Okay. I have a caller, Tunji. Hello, Tunji. Thanks for joining us.
Just a quick one to Uche Mefor. I just want to tell you that I do not feel it's right for you to IPOB to keep inciting the people, beating up politicians who travel abroad into the diaspora, and mainly you endangering life of many Igbo youth in the eastern Nigeria who don't even live abroad. Most people causing this problem live in the diaspora and they don't feel any pain. Do you think that is fair? I do not think so. We've been through enough in Nigeria. At this point, we should be talking about cooperation. You can talk about decentralizing Nigeria state. I think that's fine. You have genuine points on that. But trying to overheat the policy, I think we don't have to do civil war part 2. That's what I want to say. I'll listen to you now. Thank you.
Can you hear me? Hello? Okay, I think we lost
That's all right. The thing is, Tunji, of course, is not a Biafran for avoidance of doubt, but it is interesting, for us to be experiencing surge in people coming up to defend the so-called Igbos this time around. The question is, where were these people when our people were being massacred? Even now that Fulani headsmen are everywhere, killing everybody, why are they not on the street defending the Igbo people? So I call this hypocrisy. At the end of the day, in Yoruba land, Dudua land, a lot of things are happening. I will advise Tunji to go and fight for Showore. Showore is illegally being incarcerated in detention.
Yes.
He has left Showore on the hearing of tear gas. Everybody ran away.
Of course.
Okay, so I don't think that he has that legitimacy to be advising me or indigenous people of Biafra on what to do with our own people.
Okay.
And we have said that this is a family business.
Noted. Noted. Okay, we're going to show a clip, the clip that, of course, have gone viral of members of IPOB outside the ambassador's residence in Japan. And when we come back, we'll have Dr. Don Pedro Obaseki back on set with the deputy leader of IPOB.
So we just want to have discussion with this Nigerian embassy, ambassador house, see where he's living, mansion with our money. This way he's living. So we are trying to get things right. You can see protection everywhere, police everywhere. But we cannot give up. We cannot give up. Look at where he's living. Look at the house. Look at the mighty mansion he's living here. And the people are saying that we cannot come here, but we are here today, and we are trying to make a record.
Femi Adetu, I warned you last night on the Facebook that I will be here today. Where are you?
Yes.
Where are you? Samish, can I?
Cameraman. No, Okay.
Chris, we want you to follow.
So, everybody miss.
No, you don't need to cameraman.
Send it to cameraman, or a cameraman. This Nigerian ambassador house where the Nigerian keep our Jubril of Sudan. Yeah.
As you can see,
Yeah.
we have come
Yeah.
to take Jubril out and hand him over to the Japanese police. As you can see, they are here with us.
Yeah.
They are here with us. We came to take Jubril out from here and hand him over to the Japanese police because he's an impostor. They feel that
Yes.
we will not come. We are peace-loving people. And the police, I have to thank them because they are cooperative.
Yeah.
Even though we didn't invite them, we didn't call them, but they have to be here. Just to show us that they are...
Okay, so really, I want you to tell me, why do you think President Buhari is not the one that is one Jubril from Sudan that you keep calling him? Why are you saying he's an impostor?
Why should somebody say that I'm a terrorist? Why should people say that myself and so many other innocent Biafran youths are terrorists? And everybody is jubilating. And probably, I don't know the school of thought you belong to.
Yes.
Everybody is jubilating. And for years, people's image are being dented and all that. And so, I don't see any reason why anybody will ask me whether this man is Buhari or Jubril. We have made our case. We have provided...
No, because you keep going on with it, and I'll tell you this. Let me tell you this. Just a minute. No, I'll tell you this. Because in the letter that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu wrote to the government of Japan, he said Buhari died in January 2017, and he was buried in Saudi Arabia, and that the man we have today is Jubril al-Sudan from Sudan. And you know, a lot of people seem to have run away with this, that President Muhammadu Buhari is an impostor. Is this a gimmick? Is it a game for, you know, or you're serious about it and then you have evidence to support this?
Do you think that it's a gimmick? That is number one. The second aspect of it is that incontrovertible evidence have been provided. It is everywhere online. It is now, the onus is on whoever is Buhari or Aminu al-Sudani or his aides, the cabals in Asarok, to come out and disprove it. Have they done that? Somebody said I'm a terrorist. I'm coming out here to say I'm not a terrorist. So has Buhari or Aminu al-Sudani, has he come out and say I'm Buhari or I'm Buhari and all that? Has he done that?
No, maybe he really doesn't want to.
Okay, so he doesn't want to. But we have made our case. It is now for them to disprove it. And
it's you guys are really making use of the social media, which I wouldn't know to say maybe to commend that or not. But with that, information gets to people quicker. And a lot of people seem to be digesting the information you're giving out. So, number one, like this issue of Jubril al-Sudan, and then the issue of Buhari not being in Japan. You know, so a lot of people have that impression, and the photograph you said was photoshopped, and the constant issue back and forth with Femi Adesina, the presidential spokesperson.
Again, this is a case of you disproving the evidence we have put forward. We are not mincing words about it. It is now left for those concerned to come out and say this is not true and all that. The question should not be thrown back to me because we have made a case. So let them come out and disprove it. Let them come out and say, this is not Photoshop. The man in Asorok is not Aminu al-Sudani.
Yes.
It's Buhari. Let the man in Asorok come out and say, I'm Buhari. I'm not Aminu al-Sudani. He hasn't done that.
But there is a president who is not fully communicating with his people. So.
And you are proud of that character in Asorok as your president? Let me just put it this way.
Yes.
The man they called Buhari, since 2012, 2013, has been on the street protesting. Even he ganged up against Jonathan. They said all manner of things against Jonathan to put Jonathan aside. And when they succeeded in doing it, they promised heaven on earth. You are witness to it. And all of a sudden, the once vocal president became very deaf and dumb. He doesn't talk anymore, even to talk to the citizens that the so-called citizens, the electorate that fraudulently put him there because he didn't win an election. He cannot talk. Let him come out in the open. We have challenged him. Come out and speak to your people. He cannot do that.
Yes.
People are not doing all those things for him. Now, the person who is in charge of Asorok is Bakari or whatever he calls it. That he tried the ministers. If you want to, he can't get to me directly. If you want to get to me, go to him, the chief of staff and all that. You see how modern governance is run? You elected somebody, the person has not been able to confidently face the electorate and talk to them. People are dying, he kept quiet. They are wreaking havoc. Fulani headsmen are everywhere. And they are supporting them. One of the certain excuses given by these people from the presidency was that Fulani headsmen they are defending themselves.
And they are not Nigerians?
And then Nigerians, and they are not Nigerians. They are not Nigerians, and then you allow them. Where did they get AK-47 and other sophisticated weapons of warfare they are using to maim and destroy lives? And the so-called Nigerian politicians, including those from Biafland, are keeping quiet about it. And you want me to keep quiet? You want other people to keep quiet? Because life is so sweet, we don't want to do anything that will unruffle us or something like that. And the question is, for how long will they play games with their lives? If others don't do anything, we shall do something, and we are doing it. More importantly, we are not fighting for one Nigeria anymore or for restructured Nigeria. We are going for ultimate restoration of Biafra.
Okay.
And so there is no similarity between Obaseki that was here before and ourselves. I heard him say that IPOB agitation was internet and intellectual brigandage. That's an insult. And he appears to be saying, I don't have anything with IPOB and all that. Let me tell you something. There was a question thrown at him. He didn't answer it.
Yeah.
Would you allow people whom you are claiming to be Igbos and other people in the so-called
I have a question. Let me speak with Austin. Yes, I have a call up. Hello, Austin. Thanks for joining us. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from London. I just want to. I sat down here. I was listening to your previous guest, and now listening to the IPOB deputy leader. I just want to find out because according to their map, they put down parts of River State, Delta State, and the Ijaw people as Biafran. So I just want to know, what do the Ijaw people have in common with the Biafrans? As far as I know, there's no connection between the Igbos and the Ijaw people, because if there's a connection between any tribe in Nigeria, the Ijaw people are more related to the Yorubas because they are part of the Otunba family history. So I just want to know what connection the Ijaw people have with the Biafra. And second question I want to say is that Midwest region, that's where they were able to get scholarships to educate themselves. Then the Igbo people were marginalizing all the other ethnic groups in the Eastern region. That's my little contribution. I want him to respond on all these questions. Thank you.
Has made a statement of fact from his own perspective, isn't it?
Yes.
He made a number of allegations, and it is left for him to provide evidence that Ijaw people were marginalized and done all manner of things. It is also left for him to define the relationship between Ijaw people and the Igbo people. But I want to say something here. Question for him from me is, where was Ijaw people during the 1960s? The old Eastern region, was Ijaw in the north, or was it in the Midwest, or in Yoruba land? If you can answer that question, then I will be very much generous to provide further information. Now, let me also repeat what I'm saying here, what we have said. Biafra we are looking for remains the old Eastern region. Some part of this area they call South-South. The whole of the area they call Southeast. Some part of Middle Belt. And because of the corruption that crept in during the so-called creation of state definition of boundaries, gerrymandering of boundaries, a lot of people were uprooted from their natural environment and put into hostile communities, just in a bid, a desperate move to stop Biafra agitation. And what we are saying, we have a solution for it. Let there be referendum. Let people decide where they want to be. Why are they afraid of referendum, for goodness sake? Referendum
If
is
it
part
so
and parcel
happens,
of democratic
if it
process.
so happens that today President Muhammadu Buhari asks for a roundtable discussion, would you oblige?
It depends on, roundtable discussion can be on anything. It depends on what he's calling
On
roundtable
what
discussion
you are
about.
agitating for. If he says, come, let us talk.
The only thing that will bring us to negotiation table is Biafra. Simple as that.
Yes, if that is
Anything outside that,
stated, you would discuss
if
with
they're
him.
talking about how Biafra will go, we send our representative there. But of course, there are war criminals. Muhammad Buhari or whoever is behaving to be him in Asorok, pretending to be himself.
You really believe
He's
that?
a war criminal, for avoidance of doubt. All those people, the chief of army staff, the police chief that have come between 2014 and up until this moment, and some criminal Southeast governors. These are war criminals because they have participated either directly or indirectly in maiming and spilling of the blood of innocent Biafran.
But do you think this government would actually allow for the succession of Biafra?
It doesn't matter. We don't care. And that is why we are doing what we are doing. We shall see who will get tired at the end of the day. They don't understand the mess that they have put themselves in. They thought that the present generation of Biafrans are the same with those that came before us, that when you intimidate, they will go and sleep. Or when you dangle money in their face, they will go and sleep. Just like this present couple of Southeast politicians we have. When Fulani, Arewa,
Yes.
Consultative Forum contacts them, what can you do to stop IPOB? People are going for contract from our place to stop IPOB, to go and collect money and then give information on whereabouts of IPOB members. These politicians cannot deny it. They are privy to all the python dances that have been conducted in Biafra land to kill, to maim, to destroy Biafran youths. Meanwhile, their children are abroad. They are preparing the future for them and destroying the future of those who are home. That is selfishness. And we are saying that it will not continue.
What would make you remain a part of Nigeria?
Nothing. It is too late. So much blood has been shed. We are going for Biafra. It doesn't matter how long it takes. They may say restructuring, we go back to the regional system. It is taking us closer to Biafra. At the end of the day, it is an abomination. It will be an injustice too many for us to abandon this cause, because many have died because of the name Biafra. And in this present dispensation, many IPOB family members came out and they vowed to fight for Biafra. And in the process, they were mowed down. We cannot abandon them. Our loyalty is 100% where they are.
Are you bothered?
And no matter how long it takes, Biafra shall be restored.
Are you bothered about the backlash you've been receiving?
What kind of backlash?
About giving the country a bad image abroad by your activities being unruly? By wanting to embarrass the president?
Embarrass the president? Is protest, civil protests, a crime? You need to ask yourself, if it is a crime, most of us would have been arrested. It is only in Nigeria that this mentality is reigning supreme. When you challenge a so-called elder who is obviously fraudulently deceiving people, they will say you are insulting, and all that. I have given you an example. There are so many politicians, including an Ukrainian politician, a number of them, they were thrown into dustbin.
Yes.
Zimbabweans chased one of their political figures on the streets of London. There are so many. So why is this problem with Nigeria and Nigerians?
Okay.
Why that mentality?
Let us speak with Paul. Hello, Paul. Thanks for calling us. Let's have your contribution.
First and foremost, thank the deputy leader of IPOB for some explanations. But I just wanted to say whether IPOB believe in democracy.
Of course, that is why we are calling for referendum. Referendum is not come with a fiat or by a fiat. That is why they said Nigeria and Nigerians say that they are democracy.
Yes.
And so we want to follow democratic process. And we are calling for referendum. And they are saying, no, it is treason. So who is fooling who, for goodness sake?
Okay, one thing that many people have commended IPOB for is the fact that now we can get most Nigerian politicians to sit at home instead of coming abroad to spend the country's money, living lavishly. And of course, a lot of them come over here and across the world for health tourism, whereby our hospitals are in dilapidated states back home. Nigerians are dying, every day from lack of proper health care. So with the treatment of Ekweremadu and with the constant videos that have gone viral that any politician that is being caught abroad will be severely dealt with. So we see like there's been some caution there from Nigerian politicians. But the Minister for Aviation, am I correct? Oh my goodness, the father, Rotimi Amechi, he has said that, who are you guys threatening? That he can travel whenever he wants to.
He was in a train going to River State. Let him come to Geneva. His name is Chibika Amechi, isn't it? He's an Igbo man claiming to be something he's not. Let him come to Geneva.
But you're going to have words with him. You're going to sit and have words with him.
What kind of words?
He would be maltreated.
We have
and such treatment will be stopped.
I need to correct this impression. We are not attacking anybody. And if it is an attack, it's an attack with egg, commensurate with an attack with AK-47. Can you begin to rationalize?
Okay.
These people, if it is an attack, we attack you with egg, you are attacking our people with AK-47, killing innocent people, and everybody is jubilating.
Because, of course, in societies like this, the AK-47 is not readily available. Let us speak with Uzoma. Hello, Uzoma. Thanks for joining us. Let's have your contribution. Hello, Uzoma.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, yes, Uche.
Yeah, where are you calling from?
Yes, what I want to say, I just simply want to make one or two contributions into the discussion. As it is, the world knows what is happening in Biafra land, that is to say, the former eastern part of Nigeria. We must bear in mind that Nigeria was created by Britain. There were three nations that were involved to start with. We have the Arewas to the north, the Oduduwas to the west, and the Biafrans to the east. All the ethnic groups that formed part of the former eastern Nigeria is Biafra land. And I wonder if any civilization can allow the killing of Biafrans to date to say, yes, we want to remain part of Nigeria. Forever, we will never be part of Nigeria. The agitation for Biafra sovereignty will continue, and we must get it. Look at the mayhem in the whole of Biafra land. Look at the killings, the raping of our mothers, sisters, daughters, and so on. It is unacceptable. Even though the world is keeping quiet, looking the other way, it's not going to happen this time round. We are in the 21st century, and we are going to continue with the agitation for no matter how long it takes. We want to be free. We are Biafrans. We want to go back to where we were before the amalgamation.
Thank you very much, Uzoma. I see a lot of people share your passion.
Because you were saying that you were asking me a question before whether generality of the people in the eastern region.
Yes, because there will be people who are not fully in support, are they?
Because people who are not in support of what we are doing are people who are either benefiting from Nigerian system or people who have questionable parentage, for avoidance of doubt, or people who are filled with envy and jealousy. Why not me? And all that. What we are fighting for is a generational cause. It is not for me or for my children. It is for everyone. So everybody has platform here. And by the way, I want to say something here. People say that we don't have respect for the so-called elders and all that. And I'm saying here, and this is our focus, this is our view. We have profound respect for elders. We have elders in IPOB as well. But we don't respect the stupid ones, the treacherous ones, the sellouts among us. Because at the end of the day, they are mortgaging the future of millions of Biafran generations already, that are yet to come. The future of the youths are mortgaged. The future of people who are coming after us are mortgaged. And these people are selfishly providing political and economic safe haven for their children abroad and all that. And we are saying that enough is enough. Since 1960s, they have been playing politics in people's lives, with the exception of the late people's general, Jubril.
Yes.
And this has continued. Every year, every electoral cycle, one fraudulent politician will come up and go and pay homage to Hausa Fulani, to Arewa Consultative Forum, and their cabals. And you ask yourself, what is all this thing? They want to serve them. They are subserviently serving them to serve the collective interests of our people for their own selfish aim. Go to the so-called southeast, you will see that there is no motorable road. All the industries there that were there before, they are all moribund, not because it just died in natural death, but because of economic sabotage, because of wickedness.
You know, for me, like a friend would say, you're preaching to the converted. If you talk about the region being marginalized and everything else, but I still feel, and maybe quite a number of people, that talks will get us to where we want things.
Well, we get us talk.
Yes.
But we have explored avenue for dialogue. all these politicians telling you IPOB is this, IPOB is that, especially from Biafra, and ask them whether we have not made contact with them before. Our leader, Nnamdi Kanu, told them, that was in 2017, go to Abuja, get me a date for referendum. Go to Abuja, tell them that our people are being marginalized. Let them fix the roads, let them fix the schools, that children will be going to school, let them open up the ports and airports for infrastructure, for another infrastructural facilities to be in a very good state. Our people are being deliberately and in a most wicked fashion being sidelined. And then those who are supposed to be representing our interests are sleeping and, building economic and political capital for themselves and their children. And we are saying that this cannot continue. These are sellouts. Unless they change. Yes. This is just the beginning.
Okay, now I want to take you on, because you said you wanted to talk about it also, and we wonder why Don Pedro Obaseki left before this conversation ended, because he had promised that he was going to be part of this discussion, because he was talking about the map carved, and the Biafra map carved, and that Delta and Edo State is part of it, and you're saying you're going back to the old map when the regions were separated and brought together. We know that Edo Delta was part of the eastern region, and if these other two states say they don't want to be part of it, what happens?
So that is why the only way to resolve all those problems is referendum. We are not forcing anybody, but we are restoring Biafra the way it was before, because that was our inheritance wrongly robbed us. And we are saying, let Biafra be restored the way it was before. Anybody can belong to anywhere he wants. Okay. But because of these problems, people making this claim and all that, and because of this fraudulent delineation of boundaries, gerrymandering, and uprooting of communities and putting them into hostile communities where they don't have a say. We want referendum for people to decide. You can decide to belong to Sokoto. You can decide to go to Yoruba land and live. But let those who want to be part of Biafra decide as well. Okay. Why are they afraid of it?
Okay.
It's a democratic process.
Okay then. Thank you very much for speaking with me.
Thank you.
And then we hope we'll have you on, because this issue seems to be on the front burner of every news platform around the country, Nigeria, and of course on Young Brass again. Killer producer, my police, baby girl, come my way, baby make you on your waist. Come on my lady, baby make you put on for repeat. I don't die, sexy body on the make me the retreat. Baby girl, you too fine, sexy Diana, you too fine. Wind down, come to my place, bend down one time on my way. Baby girl, I love your shape, I like it when you call my name. Baby, let me love you, let me hold you, baby, let me kiss you. I love you. I've been the way that you dance for me, baby, oh, baby, oh, I'm loving the way that you went for me, baby, oh, baby, oh, I'm loving the way that you dance for me, baby, oh, baby, oh, I'm loving the way that you went for me, baby, oh, baby, oh, my base, baby, can you come to my place? Always, I'll be having your heart always. No wahala, you know I got the dose I got. Manala, I got you everything, mahala. Baby, can you let me finish? Winding around, up and down till you tell all your secrets. Elation, one number you a big mention. Baby, that is my intention. I know I stop till I impression. I've been the way that you dance for me, baby.
I go give you my loving, baby, oh.
Loving the way that you dance for me, baby. Baby, oh, baby, oh, I'm loving the way that you wine for me, baby. Baby, oh, baby, oh, I'm loving the way that you dance for me, baby. Baby, oh, baby, oh, I'm loving the way that you wine for me, baby. Baby, oh, baby, oh,
Money where we got yo, you know go finish your problem.
Star boy. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Easy when go down. Oh she overload. Masmara. Oh yeah. Easy when go down. Overload. That's not Masmara. That's not shake jack. That's not shake papa. Jump man. Only give for a ballet down. 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 The money where